Welcome everyone to our first new product pitch competition hosted by Indiegogo and Branded. Who am I? Well, I'm STACY Bradford. I'm a senior hardware manager here at Indiegogo, and I'm also your host and resident crowdfunding expert. We're looking for entrepreneurs who have identified a gap in the market and have an idea for a product that consumers will love. Today, we have 5 finalists who are ready to pitch their new product ideas to our esteemed panel of judges. Each finalist will have their chance to pitch, followed by a Q&A with the judges. Then our judges will deliberate and announce the winner, who will receive an exclusive consultation with Indiegogo and also another consultation with Branded. And what else? $5,000. So let's meet our judges today. All right, first up, we have one Kristen Sager. Kristen, hello.
I would be happy to introduce myself, Stacey. I'm the CMO of Indiegogo, so I lead all the marketing across all the different channels, as well as the internal ad agency that we offer to our campaigners. I've been the founder or first marketer in at 5 different startups in e-commerce, content, and ed tech. And I've raised over $40 million in early stage traditional VC type funding for those companies. And then I think that's pretty much it. I'm based in San Francisco, went to UCLA. That's my story.
All right. Thank you very much, Kristen. So up next, we have Adam Croft. How are you?
Hey, my name is Adam Kraft. I'm the founder of Elevated Craft. I launched the Elevated Craft cocktail shaker in 2020, roughly, to 29,000 backers, and it was a huge success. And it really has been the foundation of the company through crowdfunding. So I'm super appreciative of the crowdfunding communities. And then recently just launched the hybrid cocktail glass, which is live now as well. So all about crowdfunding, all about product design. And my background is product design. So that's what I do.
Thanks for that. All right. Emily Wynne-Jones.
Oh, you said it right. Well done. What always happen? Hi, everyone. So my name's Emily. I'm the Product Development Director currently at Branded. So I've been with Branded for just over a year now. I'm based in the UK, in London. My current role really is looking after the product development team, industrial design, research teams, and just making sure that we bring all of that together to bring products to market that are going to be relevant to the Amazon space, but then also offline as well. My background is very much in kind of commercial buying and then product development. The last kind of 18 years specifically, very mixed market, lots of different categories, everything from kind of eyewear to homewares to tabletop to massage guns. It's been a very, very wide kind of featured product range, but here I am today, so look forward to seeing all the product pitches. Indeed,
yeah, it's going to be super fun. So next up we have Sean Busch.
Thanks, Stacey, appreciate it. Sean Busch, co-founder, CEO of Puracy, a line of safer, easy to use household cleaning products, personal care products, baby care products that we founded about 9 years ago in Austin. We built the business in the early days of Amazon, before there was even advertising. It was the fun days of good old-fashioned SEO organic search. Times have changed. We grew the business, added on some product lines, and then entered into Target about 3 years ago, and then joined the Branded team about a year ago now.
Awesome. Next up, Adam Runquist.
Hey guys, great to be here. Adam Runquist. My first foray into the physical products game. We actually bought a company called Goal Zero, which is a category leader in the outdoor space, omni-channel at places like REI, Costco, about 30 countries internationally. So scaled that business to 9 figures, and I discovered, man, this physical product stuff's pretty awesome. So I started my own brands. I've since started 4 brands, one of which I exited, and I focus primarily now on the marketplace sales channels like Amazon. So that's my story. We've done about, in my career, I guess about 300-400 grand or 300-400 million in physical product sales. Love this stuff. It's super fun and excited to be here.
Fantastic. All right. Yeah, everyone, that's our esteemed panel of judges here. So next up, we're going to get to the pitches. And today Today for the first pitch, we have Daniel from Podmaker. Daniel,
Yes.
you'll have 5 minutes to pitch. Good luck to you, sir.
My name is Daniel, and I'm the founder of Podmaker. As you can hear from my charming accent, I'm from Germany, but I moved to the US 6 years ago. Today, I want to tell you about my newest invention, Podmaker. It will help you brew your favorite coffee with your capsule machine at home. Capsule coffee machines are great. Did you know that 40% of US households already have one? They are fast and convenient, but the coffee quality is often bad, and you can only select from a limited assortment, and the coffee was probably grounded months ago. It's also quite expensive. A single pot normally costs between 40 and 90 cents. And if you buy fresh coffee beans, one cup is usually just 8 to 16 cents. Additionally, coffee pots produce a lot of waste. They can only be used once, and most people don't recycle them, as it is quite inconvenient. This is why I invented Podmaker. I actually invented this machine during the pandemic when my girlfriend started to work from home, and I noticed how much coffee she drinks and how much waste we produce. Let me show you how it works. So this is the Podmaker. You open it up like this. Then you insert a reusable stainless steel coffee pot in here, and you close it back again. And then you press one of those buttons, and you can program each button to a different amount of coffee. For example, the first one is for Keurig, the second for an espresso, and so on. And if you want to use a different capsule, you just change out the rings. Then you can use, for example, an espresso pot. So let's ground some coffee. So now you can see the coffee inside, and all you have to do is put on the lid, and you can use it just as any regular pot in your coffee machine. So what are the advantages of Podmaker? Firstly, you can save a lot of money. If you drink just 1 cup a day, you save more than $200 a year. It works with Keurig, Nespresso, and Espresso Voiture machines. Those are the most common machines in the US. You do something good for the environment. No more aluminum or plastic pots that end up in landfills. And the most important thing, you can enjoy your favorite coffee using your capsule machine. No more stale pre-ground coffee that's been sitting on the shelf for months. Our goal is to raise 100,000 US. The price for a machine plus 3 usable pots will range from 97 to 129 US dollars. If you put this price in relation to the savings of $200 per year, we think this is a fair price. This means we need to sell around 900 Podmaker. Given the market size and my experience with running successful crowdfunding campaigns, we think this is a realistic goal. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present to this panel, and I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I'll open the floor up. So for questions here. So now, Emily Wynne, I'm sure you have questions over here.
Hey, yeah. So really interesting product. Thank you so much, Daniel. Really interesting to understand where that's come from as well, because I too also started to drink a lot more coffee during lockdown, but also realized the amount of cash I was saving. I was curious, where are you sourcing the product currently? What does that manufacturing pipeline look like for you?
Since I already have good connections in China, we will produce it in China and then ship it to the US.
Okay, and then specifically then in terms of regulations for the US market can be very specific, especially with regards to kind of food contact materials. Is that something that you've already looked into and the factories are aware of? Yeah, the factories are aware of, and they have like the certification program that we will use when we go in production. Okay, thank you.
Adam Runquist, what say you?
Hey, Daniel, really interesting product. I agree. So I think that there's like 4 different like at-home brewing segments that I see. You've got the Keurig customer, which you said there's roughly 40% in that category. You've got like the regular mom and pop, just like that brew a pot. And then you've got folks that have the machine, the espresso machine, and they know how to grind coffee and all that stuff. I'm just curious. It's fairly niche. Like I did a little bit of pre-research on this, and there's a lot of those reusable cups, and they're like, you get 5 for $10 or something. You see them on Amazon all the time. Yeah. I'm curious where you see yourself fitting from like your casual Keurig user who already has something that could use this for, and how you plan on kind of migrating your more straight up coffee aficionados that like to grind their own coffee, and how you like, what size of that 40% do you think you can actually chip away at with this at that price point, which is fairly premium if you already own other machines which are necessary for this?
Yeah, as I said, like the savings is not from the machine, because this is like an extra machine that sits beside like your normal like Keurig.
Sure.
Saving is like that you don't have to buy like the the pre-ground coffee pots that you can buy in the store, but you can use this over and over. And you also have like better coffee because you can use every bean you like on Amazon, like really premium coffee sells for like 16, 17 bucks, like bean coffee from Italy. And like premium coffee for pots sell about 80 to 90 bucks, 2 pounds. Like you have like a really high difference between like the coffee price from beans and from like pre-ground coffee pots. And I think that's, I don't know how big the market can be that we can grab from the 40%, but maybe like 5 to 10% would be like a good idea or a good target.
Cool. Thanks, Dan.
Sean, you're up.
Sure. First question, maybe it's an obvious one, but is this legal? Are you violating any IP from Nespresso or Keurig?
No, but you can already buy like third-party pots and like reusable pots as well from made of plastic. So that's not a problem.
Okay. So it seems like the system is the whole sell here, right? Because you kind of have this nice little system where you put the pod in and it grounds it for you and everything. Okay. So what's to stop people from just buying the capsules that you have and then just taking ground coffee and sort of packing it in there, pre-ground coffee, I should say?
Yeah, nothing, but it's like it's already possible with the reusable pots you can buy on Amazon. They are made out of plastic, but it's like really inconvenient because you have to put it like in by hand, and then it's just an easy and fast system to refill your coffee pots. That's the selling point.
Okay, so it's ease of use is really the
easy
thing.
to use, and you have like fresh ground coffee. You don't have to use like pre-ground coffee.
Thank you so much. And we have Amber from PillowPack.
Who is itching to leave the country like I am? I see the borders opening and tourism restarting, and I am eager to adventure. So let's go. Meet PillowPack. You will never travel the same from this day forward. PillowPack is atypical luggage. It's a fabric sleeve suitcase to bring more on a trip. Now it's disguised as a neck pillow so that you can bring more on a flight free of charge. In addition to a personal item and a carry-on item, pack inside of it, roll your clothes up, and now you can bring more with you. Hook it on a bag, hook it on something. So this new product is going to disrupt the world's travel norms. Is your bag 1 pound too heavy? PillowPack it. Do you want to skip the baggage lines? PillowPack it. Are you returning home with more than what you left with and what fits in your suitcase? PillowPack it. Are you sneaking goods on the airplane that you don't want to share with your kids? I mean snacks, that's all. This bag is packed with possibilities. It is a genius use of space. It's for the minimalist and the maximalist alike. It is sleek, it's customized comfort, whether you're traveling for business or leisure. It has so many different other uses. We start with the airplane, but we're going to go on to therapeutic uses, humanitarian uses. It is the perfect time to launch this PillowPack. So the market proves it's needed with skyrocketing bag fees that are loading down travelers. Amateur travel hacks are trending, and we still need clothes when we travel. So PillowPack packs smarter. I'm going to pack one bag here in my remaining time. I pre-packed it. Here, let's scoop this back. You see, I've got it pre-packed here. I've got 6 t-shirts, 3 in each sleeve. We've got socks. We've got a charging cord, snacks, phone. My passport's here in this little hidden pocket. And you can see that there is still more space in here. So just shove everything in. My 7-year-old was able to pack this. Nothing was folded, but it was great. You can even pack hard items. So I've got my toothbrush, my mascara in here. We're gonna insert that. There's still a little more space. Check and see if there's any area where you want to fit another pair of socks. Put your swimsuit in here and your undies, credit card, and here we are. So, saves money. If you skip the line, you can snooze comfortably. So yes, you can sleep on it, just don't sleep on me.
Awesome.
That's all.
Thank you so much, Amber. A lot of energy there. I like it a lot.
Hi, Amber. I agree
Hi.
that your presentation was really peppy and enjoyed it and hearing about it. You just mentioned special needs. How are you going about, what is your plan to kind of take this to market? Is that the target audience, or is that like an additional audience that you might add later down the road?
That is an additional audience later down the road as people travel with it. I want to get it to airlines, people who are flying on budget airlines. So that's my go-to-market strategy. Right now, it's just direct-to-consumer, e-commerce business with some affiliate alignments with travel bloggers, travel agents. I'm very young. I launched a few weeks before the lockdown. So I had an unsuccessful campaign. And so this just has taken the longest layover in the world. And I'm ready to restart.
So let me ask you a question about your, what's your cost of acquisition right now for acquiring a customer, right?
It's been word of mouth and it's gone well.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. And Sean, you're up, buddy.
Thanks, Stacey. Amber, thank you very much. Question, is this protectable or protected right now by a patent of any sort?
Yes, my patent just came through last month. So I own the patent on this travel suitcase that you wear around your neck with, I mean, all the language on the patent is so technical and weird. But this is patented in the United States and being made in the United States right now.
Utility patent or design patent?
Utility.
Great, excellent. And you said you're making this in the US?
Yes.
Do the COGS support that? Because it feels like if you're going for budget airlines, it feels a little pricey to me, but it feels like a really good idea. So I'm wondering if there's an overseas component to which you could make this probably at a third of the cost and get this retail down to $29 or even $19.95?
Yes, I'm not married to staying in America, set out to grow slow and sustainably and debt-free. So crowdfunding is how I found Indiegogo, and I'm so pleased with the option of growing slow and sustainably.
One final point, it's more of a comment, but because I wonder how comfortable it is to put makeup and toothbrushes and cans of soda in this thing and then sleep on it. So I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to also maybe upsell an air bladder that goes inside that you can kind of inflate on your own if you have nothing to put in the pillow or if you want to use it at a different time.
That is a great idea. Yeah.
You can name me on the patent on that one.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all there. And thank you, Amber. So now, John Cunningham from In-Camp Gear. We're ready for your pitch.
All right, so NCamp, we're in our 5th year of operation, and we're in the outdoor space. So right now we have a stove that we produce along with all the accessories. And our new project that we're going to be taking to crowdfunding is really more in the larger, what we'll call a portable fire pit or a portable grill. And as you can see right here, same type of concept as we have with our NCamp stove with a collapsible combustion chamber. This one is actually a collapsible chamber that will fold flat. Being a major, because the biggest issues that are out there today with solo stove is that it's a great stove. It's very popular, smokeless, but it's not very portable. So when you look at things like if you want to take it, your fire pit to the beach, or if you want to take it out to a campsite, or if you want to be able to move it, it's not very portable from a standpoint. So we've kind of gone through the first phase here, which is really the cardboard model, which basically proves out the concept that it will fold down, and it does fold flat. So from a standpoint of sizing, you'll see The size is about the same interior as a solo stove. So this is our prototype 2. This is actually the working prototype, really focusing on demonstrating the smokeless performance and making sure that it is smokeless without violating the solo stove patents. So that's kind of the phase we're at right now, is going through proving out the prototype. We have actual working prototypes that are collapsible that are in production right now, expected to be done by the end of this month. So our attempt, or our plan, is to use crowdfunding for both the tooling and for the initial purchase of inventory. The current manufacturing plan is to have this built in the United States. So right now we have a manufacturing partner that we're working with in Cleveland that had this made in the USA. So the main features of the product really is that easy to carry, compact, making sure that the combustion chamber is large enough to hold a 16-inch log, which is the standard logs that are sold off the shelf at your normal convenience store. Minimizes smoke, and then the biggest thing is also making this a gas compatible. So a lot of times there's fire bans where you're not allowed to burn the logs. So we'll have the ability to work with propane and have a gas adapter that goes into the bottom. So the legs are not just only for the elevation, but also for the ability to have the gas adapter. And then you can see how our vision of where this goes as an ecosystem. So we have the NCamp Max prep surface, so more of a table type. We also have the pizza oven that will go on top of it. Will be an additional item, but won't be an additional, combustion chamber. And then you have a chair. So overall, continuing the same theme that we had in our smaller stove, with the whole ecosystem that kind of goes around the NCamp Max. So you can see, competitive wise, expect to be competitive with the solo stove bonfire. Looking at the Brio, same type of deal. So right now, manufacturing costs right around $100 for manufacturing costs. Tooling costs probably right around that $75,000 to $100,000 in tooling costs. Crowdfunding campaign, we're still working through the details of what that crowdfunding dollar amount is, but we feel like we can be very competitive, address a major issue in the marketplace of portability, and then add the feature of gas that no one else that has. So you'll have the dual fuel NCAP Max.
All right, John, I hate to cut you off there, but we are at time, of course. Good job. Yeah, you got me thinking about pizza with that son of a early in the morning for that. All right. So Adam Runquist, let's begin with you, sir.
Sounds good, man. First of all, really interesting product. I actually know Spencer Jan, one of the co-founders, pretty well of Solo Stove, and they've just had an insane story. I think it's one of the craziest business stories of all time. So I'm fairly familiar with the space. I think I probably have a couple questions. I mean, there's other, I would say, quasi-portable camping stoves out there, Coleman, Jetboil. You've listed some of the other kind of big names. So my first question is just how you plan on competing with those bigger names that already have maybe not the exact same feature set as yours, but they've got pegs at REI. They're already pretty well established. They're going to, get top of search pretty easily on Google. I'm just curious how you plan on competing against those bigger brands. That's my first question. And then after you answer that one, I got a quick follow-up, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, sure. And we've been doing that, Adam. We've been doing that since day one. So part of it is being that authentic and unique. And sometimes the smaller brands get a little bit more attention. So from ambassadors on social media to really the product placement in social media will be our attack route. We're considering a launch partner. So giving a large retailer, which you can probably figure out, giving them the exclusive rights to kind of bring this to market in the avenue of getting their marketing dollars and their marketing help to make them stand out from the competition. So if I had to say what was going to make us different is really focusing on that launch partner and who can bring the marketing dollars that a small company typically can't bring in and compete against those retailers or those names you rattled off.
Got it. Yeah. And then real quick follow-up. Thanks for the answer on that one. How tied to you are US manufacturing? And the reason I asked the question, the $100 COGS is pretty high. The tooling cost sounds about right. But $100 for that footprint sounds a little bit high. And I see one of the advantages against, say, a Solo Stove who does manufacture in China. I think they fit a couple hundred on a 40-foot container. I would imagine that you could get into the thousands just because of the compactability. So I think one of the advantages, obviously from an end user standpoint, is the footprint of the product. But you can ship a lot more in a container from China, and I would imagine that your COGS could be, sub $40, maybe even sub $30. I guess just defend to me that US position, given the fairly high COGS that you're bringing to the table and price point that comes along with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So right now, I mean, we're manufacturing everything in China today. So we're very familiar with the process and could find a manufacturer relatively easy with our team that's in China right now. So I guess there's really no, defending it. I mean, we would certainly run the numbers and be able to say this makes more sense. Honestly, I think the tooling costs are probably what's going to be making it more attractive to China than anything else, because as you know, tooling costs are probably about a third of the cost in China versus the US. So I don't think there's really no marriage to the US manufacturing. I think we want to explore all the options to make sure we couldn't do it or we could do it. So I think we're not married to it, but certainly would love to be able to do it in Cleveland or anywhere in the US and have that badge, but not married to it.
Cool, man. Appreciate the presentation. Thanks.
Excellent. Excellent. And where do we go from there? Indeed. So we're at time. Thank you all very much. All right, we're now moving along here to finalist number 4. We have Yo Yoshida from Mamalo.
My name is Yo Yoshida. I am the co-founder of Mamilo. We make custom nipples for your baby's bottle. So one of the biggest problems we had, I have a 7-year-old boy, just like Amber. And when he was 1 and my wife had to go back to work after maternity leave, we struggled to get him to convert from breast to bottle. We were still pumping breast milk, but we'd sent him to daycare. And after 25 different nipples and bottles, we experimented. A lot of tears, primarily from my wife and I, getting him to latch on to one of them and eat. We finally found one. But at the time, this was again 7 years ago, I said, why isn't there a solution to this? And I looked at the technology back then, and we were wondering if we could conceivably replicate my wife's nipple to put on top of the bottle so that he would have an easy time converting and latching. At the time, the technology wasn't there. 3D scanning technology, conversions into 3D models, and the printing technology really hadn't caught up yet. So during COVID, I had a break from, I worked in startups for a number of years, creating my own, working for others in consulting capacity, and also running some of them and developing them in the US, primarily on the software side, but then also we raised roughly around $18 to $20 million over different projects I've worked on. Ideally, I came up with this idea and over COVID started developing it and researching it and seeing if the technology existed, and sure enough it did. Essentially what we created was a custom bottle top using a video that's submitted through our Mamilo 3D app, about the frames per second, take those frames and convert them into a 3D image. So ideally, as we're doing research, we learned that this is almost a universal problem for many mothers trying to convert from the breast to bottle, and many fathers as well, who are stay-at-home dads or are responsible at some point in their day to be able to feed the child. And digging further, it is highly recommended by the CDC and by every government and almost every single doctor that this affects their health. Up to $3 billion a year is spent just on medical conditions if the baby is not fed via breast or via breast milk. So it is a major health problem. And happiness is obviously a huge part of the family unit, being able to have a product that can help them with the conversion from breast to bottle. Give you an idea, a little bit of the market size. The growth is expected, according to Allied Market Research, to grow to just the baby bottle and top market is 4.2 billion by 2026. It's currently 2.8 billion. And our goal is to try to hit an estimated 2%, which would be roughly 100 million a year. So it's a growing industry, even though baby growth has slowed down, but still there's roughly about 140 million babies born a year globally and 3.6 million babies born in the US. How it works. Ideally, I just showed you the app. The woman takes a video from the comfort of her home, 15 to 20 seconds, scans that, submits it to us. We do conversions on our side, and we have an aggregator, and we use AI and machine learning as we're developing further out into our technology stack to be able to create something that's printable. We're using right now additive manufacturing, pure silicone, so we don't have to worry about any of the FDA approvals for the products. The price point's a little higher on our manufacturing because we are doing additive and it is the newest technology. But as we scale, and we're discussing with the manufacturer, which is currently in Sweden, they're opening offices and print facilities in Colorado. So we'll be able to get our price points down on that.
I hate to cut you off, Yo. I'm sure our judges have some excellent questions for you. First up, Adam Kraft.
All right. Yeah, the last slide you showed showing the 3D printers on there, texture would matter a lot, it seems like, with this product, making sure that it's nice and smooth and replicates well to the human body. Are you able to achieve that with the printing technology that you're using?
Yeah.
And how far are you in that? Like right now, can you scan something, send it to them, and get a nipple back that a child would use?
So yes, we are able to do that. The texture, we're still testing out other prototypes. And as we dig deeper with our quality of our video and being able to create the 3D image, we're getting incredible improvements on texture. Smoothness is just something we work out on the backside of it. So yes, we are capable of sending direct to the printer right now.
To Emily, please share.
Hi, thank you. So super interesting. I really enjoyed that presentation. It's a shame we didn't get through all of it. A question from me with regards to latching and then the ages of the child as well. So it's often broken up in the market, kind of 0 to 3 months, kind of 3 to 6, and then 9+. And when you're shopping for that, it's often also with regards to kind of slow, medium, and fast flow of the milk. And I was wondering if that's something that you've thought about in the development of these products.
Yeah, so one of the nice things is it's kind of a recurring revenue stream for us. I don't know if you can see my slides still, but there's an estimated subscription pricing. So the idea is every 3 months, the milk flow needs to increase. So the idea behind this is for every 3 months for the person to get a new set of nipples that would have increased milk flow to scale up for the age of the baby, going up to about 2 years.
Okay, thank you. And then just second to that, it's a very different question, it'll be quick. In terms of the security of mothers kind of sending in or scanning and sending in a picture, what reassurances have you got in place?
So my partners in this is Dr. Raj Patel, who is he's a doctor in and applied materials expert and also software. So he runs a lot of the UK's medical record systems for the hospitals. So he's providing the security backbone on this, and Dr. Glenn Seidemann as well who is one of our as our CTO.
Thank you for sharing right there. I want to make for sure that we're keeping the time.
Could I ask one last question, Stacey?
Get in there, Kristen.
Okay. So this is great. I love this product. I think it's fascinating and would be very successful depending on how it was launched. The TAM you mentioned or the market size is huge. Who is really the audience that you're going after, right?
So the biggest push initially will be with kind of the influencers in the space, the baby groups, the mothers groups, the Facebook mothers groups. And we've already reached out to one of the biggest influencers. She runs a set of other 10 influencers in the space, has deep connections with the baby center. Kind of all the mothers kind of go towards those options, and so that's kind of where we're targeted. We've already reached out to a lot of them. There's a lot of interest already. They're just waiting for us to push the button and make it.
Okay, I would just encourage you to potentially narrow down your TAM and really understand who you're going after, because the TAM, the size of the market you showed is basically including anybody who's buying a baby bottle, right? And this is going to be more of a premier product, and I think that it seems like a great product. Again, kind of wish it was around maybe 10 years ago
when you had your kid.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Exactly.
you so much. Thank you so much. And let's move on now to our last finalist. So we have Sara from Next Step Stool.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Sara Hasan, and I'm the creator of the Next Step Stool, providing a safer, better step up for you and your family. It probably comes to no surprise that my inspiration for my idea comes from my own family. So we've tried and tested many step stools in our own household here, especially these learning towers, which is the product towards the left here. And unfortunately, none of these step stools really cut it in terms of safety. So that inspired me to create my own product, a folding step stool that can be customized for your family's changing needs. I wanted to highlight some of the safety problems that we've seen in some of our competitor products and how the Next Step Stool provides a solution. So for our first problem here, you'll see an unsafe, flimsy design that can easily tip over. So what we've done with our Next Step Stool design is we've added 2 hooks at the top, and these hooks are adjustable height to latch on the top of any cabinet door. Not only does that pinpoint the area of use, but it also adds 90 degrees of extra safety from tipping over. And not only that, our step stool can hold up to 200 pounds, so it's actually great for adults and children. Problem number 2 is actually the most popular problem here that we've seen from our customers, and that's stubbing your toes from these bulky stools and towers just because they take up just too much space. So what we've done with the Next Step Stool, we made our step stool only 3 inches deep when fully stowed away, as well as 50% lighter than these learning towers. The next 2 problems arise from children as they grow older and taller. So my daughter, also 7, has wanted to use the lower step on a 2-step stool, but she's not able to. Why? Because it's actually very thin and unstable for her, and it keeps her at a distance up to 12 inches away from her desired point of reach. To solve that, we've made both of our steps full-sized and fully usable. So if you look here towards this right picture, you'll see that the lower step is actually longer than the top step. And both steps extend all the way back to the end of the stool, so you can get up close and personal to your desired area of reach. The last point I wanted to point out with some of these taller towers or learning towers is that they're really unaccommodating as a child grows. As I mentioned, basically these taller children are forced to use this top step and they end up slouching. So we've made our Next Step Stool customizable on demand. What that means is you can use 1 or 2 steps as you need it. And that's really ideal for one child as he or she grows, or multiple children of different ages within the home. I wanted to just briefly go over some other buying factors that we have considered. So definitely the style. We've tried to make it appealing to both adults and children, and the fact that it becomes an extension of your home. In terms of cost, it is about 25% cheaper than comparable learning towers. And the best part, it requires no assembly time. Other learning towers can take up to 45 minutes to assemble, so you're saving that time right away. I wanted to go beyond the product as well. We are trying to be environmentally responsible by using only FSC certified wood, and we're looking into this new sustainable wood alternative that can potentially produce 0 waste. We've also opted for voluntary safety certifications to show that our product is child safe, and we look forward to donating to charities and being involved in communities and organizations that have the similar mission as us to empower children and adults. I really wanted to show you some more traction. So the last 3 weeks have shown us even more traction. So we've gotten over 200 email signups in our wait list, which is awesome. And our social media has been growing day by day. So how versatile is the Next Step Stool? You could see that in our target markets. Of course, right now we're targeting phase 1 or parents and caregivers at home. We also hope to extend into phase 2 childcare facilities like preschools and the senior population such as elderly homes. Not only that, throughout all the phases, we'd love to partner with the LPA, Little People of America, and be included on their adaptive products list to be a product that can be used and benefited for this population. The go-to-market strategy is pretty simple. We're just focusing on e-commerce here with a focus on customer satisfaction. I do have 10 years of experience there myself. And we hope to build our brand by offering 3 accessory products in the pipeline. Just quickly, just showing you here that there is momentum from day 1, and we continue and hope to continue that with our launch. So as a summary here, the Next Step Stool is the new standard of step stools. It saves you time, money, and hassle, and get the one product, the one step stool that would work for your whole family. We invite you to experience the safer, better step up.
Thank you so much. That was great. Yeah, our first judge is going to be Sean.
So questions on the actual use of it. Does it require to be hooked onto the cabinet door like it's shown in the video all times?
Yes. Let me show you exactly how that works, because I do understand that, the cabinets are going to be different heights, especially in the bathroom, the kitchen. I've kind of tested that out. So we have the product right here, very, very thin. You'll see the hook, 2 hooks right up here, unscrew here to loosen up so we can adjust it. So this becomes very adjustable, whether you have it in the bathroom or the kitchen. We can bring that here, latch it right on, and I'm going to tighten it up so it doesn't move. First step will come down. Oh, sorry. And the second step as well. So that's how that works.
That's super helpful. That was the one main piece that I was curious about, if it needed that or not. And then I'll yield the floor to the others because most of my other questions were answered in this or your website. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll yield the floor to Kristen.
I don't have that much more to add. I mean, I guess one question is just how are you raising awareness? It looks like you have your own landing page, but how are you driving people to the landing page? And what's your kind of larger plan?
Right now we're definitely focusing on Facebook ads, getting the word out there. We've seen Facebook and Instagram actually, as of course, probably not surprising that, the moms and everybody that would be appealed to that.
And one of the trends that's happening in response to some of this Facebook, kind of difficulty reaching iOS users is essentially to just start doing more product placement and doing more reviews from that standpoint.
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, that reminds me, we've already gotten about 2 influencers reach out and say that they'd be really interested in, reviewing that. So I'm looking into that. Thank you.
Let's get our last judge in here who hasn't asked a question yet. Adam Kraft.
Yeah, thank you. I love the product. I have 3.5-year-old twins at home, so I'm dealing with this a lot as well. I don't think you covered manufacturing on this. That would be an area that I'm interested in. And I think manufacturing, generally, it seems like there's kind of a lot going on. So can you cover how you're making it, what your plan is there? What's your strategy?
Yes, we have found a manufacturer in China that, seems to be the most cost-effective way to go right now. With the HTS tariff code changes as well, that's also been a determining factor. There's been some leniency in our sector here. So that all going into, of course, it goes all into play. And the profit margin I did quote there is based solely on our initial run. So, that's very conservative, of course, with, just over 1,000 units that would be produced. But, same thing with manufacturers, the more minimum order quantity we can give them, the better the cost of goods would end up.
How about related to trademarks and other IP? Have you filed for your trademark yet? And did you do any patents or anything on this?
I did. I am still patent pending. I haven't gotten a response yet. I'm hoping for that in the next few months, hopefully. That was a utility patent. And I'm working with my lawyer right now to do a design patent for, for the design.
Yeah. And how about trademarks? If you're going to Amazon, that's a huge thing for brand registry.
Yeah, if the budget allows, that's the next step after we get our design patent. Definitely considering that. Thank you so much.
I want to just shop around on the trademark. It doesn't cost that much, but it's hugely valuable when you're going to Amazon. You need it.
Got it. I'll get on top of that. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, that was our 5 pitches for this pitch contest. Thank you all finalists. It was so great to hear your pitches, see your products, and judges, thank you as well. Some really great questions out there. So now, all right. So now what's going to happen is the judges are going to take a moment to deliberate and decide who will win the $5,000 and product launch consultation time with one Indiegogo and one branded as well. All right. It looks like the judges have come to a decision on who is going to win our grand prize. Judges, are you ready? And the winner is 3, 2, 1.
Next Step Stool.
Next Step Stool. Awesome. Well done.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited and so grateful. Thank you to all the judges and everybody here. I appreciate that. So excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, really well done, Sarah. Good job.
Thanks, everybody. Again, everybody's presentation was just beautiful today, and it's so exciting. I wish everybody the best of luck with their products.
Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. I've had an excellent time. So thank you all again for your fantastic finalists today. You all did an amazing job, and we can't wait to see your products on Indiegogo someday soon. And thank you to the judges. as well for taking the time to carefully evaluate, and we couldn't have done it without you. One more final congratulations to Sara. You've won $5,000 in an exclusive consultation with Indiegogo and Branded to help you with your product launch. So very excited to be working with you, and we're very excited to not only work with you, but everyone who joined the pitch competition as well. Indiegogo, Branded, we're here to make your next product launch a huge success. Thank you, everyone.